Okay. You want to do a countdown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2019. I'm just kidding.
2019. We're going back in time.
2019, 2018, 2017. Ready? Three,
Three,
two,
two, one.
one. Welcome, everybody, back to the series with the best title that I could ever come up with. It's the Community Interviewnity. Today I
Yeah.
have a special. Today I have a special guest. It's Majora T. It's Majora T on the Community Interviewnity.
Hey,
Yep.
it's me, Majora T, on the community Interviewnity with Turbozona T. Hello, T, everybody, T.
I should have made some tea.
That'd be
I didn't
great.
make any tea.
For Terry T.
So this is the second episode. The first one I did, I interviewed Spencer of RPG Archive. You might have heard of him. He's a dude. He's the dude.
He plays what?
Um,
Platformers?
yeah, I think over on RPG Archive he plays like I don't even know. I can't. It's golf or something.
Wow.
Golf games.
Casino.
But
Slots.
yeah, casino game. Yeah, slots. I don't know. But today I got Teddy from Majora T. I feel like I had to start with both of you guys because it makes the most sense for me, like a starting point for this series of interviews. And then I'll just branch out into whoever the hell, you know.
Just random
Teddy,
Jeff on the street.
yeah, random dude walking down the street. I'm gonna run out with a microphone. How did you start your content creation? He's like, what? What?
Listen, I've got a great video series, Community Interviewnity. I know you want to be a part of this, Jeff.
That doesn't make any sense. Interviewity isn't a word.
Buy me a pack of cigarettes, and then we'll talk.
So you and I have been pals for a while, been working together on the YouTube creation for a long time. And I could be wrong, but in my head canon, like the start of the community that we have now, for me at least, was with you. It was kind of like the genesis of where all this stuff sprouted from was our collaboration. And but again, that's just from my perspective. Today I'm here to get your perspective. And I got some questions lined up for you. I have changed a few of them. The first one and the last one are the same because I feel like those are pretty solid questions. The other ones are different because I want to make each interview its own thing. I don't want people to like listen and have each interview, have the same sort of questions each time. So, I got some special questions here too. Um, Teddy, I want to know, question one, this is the one that doesn't change. I want to know, how did you first get into content creation?
Mmm. It's a great question. I feel like I've heard this before. It's a staple here in the...
Yeah, staple.
Yeah.
Episode 2. the the lowest amount of episodes for a staple.
It's become a real staple. It's in two places at once. Where did it all begin? How did I get into content creation? Okay. It's funny. I'm trying to be more open just in general, like talking on here about whatever to good or bad. So, I've been I've come clean a little bit that I do teach, and, I'm still thinking about ideas and like how to teach my units. And my dad is a professor. So we were talking when I stopped at the house today about my next unit, which is going to be Romeo and Juliet by Shakespeare. And, it's always kind of challenging doing Shakespeare because it's like old English and not everyone is like accustomed to analyzing old English. And, you could put the dummy version on the right, but it doesn't change the fact that like it loses the meaning of like the classic Shakespearean language. The reason I bring this up is because, I'm coming up with ideas about, do I want to turn this into like a rap unit or maybe like a remake unit where like the kids remake the play and like with their own characters and they work in groups and like they could like present it in a video or I don't know. But, we had finished talking and he brought up Martin Luther Clam. And what Martin Luther Clam was a little finger puppet with two eye sockets, and it was a clam that would go like this. And so you could put your like middle fingers in and it would go with the eyes. It's probably floating around the house somewhere here. And I made a Martin Luther Clam video in 3rd grade where I guess maybe this would be lambasted today, but I think I was playing Martin Luther King as a clam. And I made a video project, and it's floating around somewhere on one of those like old video cassette cameras. I wouldn't even know how to get the video onto the computer today. So that was kind of a pivotal moment for me. I've always kind of had video ingrained with me. In 6th grade, I actually performed as Romeo in front of my entire grade of high school kids, like 300 kids, in a play of Romeo and Juliet. And that was recorded. It was played back to me when I got into high school. And that was when YouTube had really first started. It was like the 2006, 2007. And people were making videos, and there were like those big meme videos blowing up, like the Numa Numa, or just seeing like video game stuff online. I wasn't even making video game stuff. It was just like turning a camera on and being with my best friend and doing lip syncing videos. And I remember getting like trashed online by like commenters, like saying you're gay and stuff like that. And I was like a 6th grader, and I was just like, wah! So I just like deleted everything. But I had like 6 videos up, and I think I've always kind of enjoyed just having this kind of limelight and being an entertainer and bringing that presence out. And I repressed that for a long time after the cyberbullying, I guess. And it wasn't until I had finished and just focused on like my schooling, my high school and my college, that I started watching Classic Game Room. And I was like, wow, people are actually doing this and like talking about games and stuff. And that looks like so much fun. And I want to get into that. And that's when I just said, screw it. I'm going to make my first review. And very similarly, I just took my flip cam from like 8 years prior and held it up to my Nintendo DS screen and recorded the first game I thought I could do a fun review for, or just like even talk about. It was Brain Age 2. It wasn't even the first game. It was just the second Brain Age game. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to share this to the CGR website. I had like 3 subscribers for like a year. But I had published a couple of reviews. And I think by the end of the year, I had like 19 subscribers. So my process of like how I got into content creation has been a long time in the making. It started when I was younger. It came up again throughout various junctures. And then formally with YouTube, and especially this channel, it really came about with Classic Game Room.
Nice. Martin Luther Clam is not offensive, by the way. That's amazing.
Excellent.
I would also like to note that it's funny you mentioned the idea of students doing like their own interpretations of Romeo and Juliet, because I did that. I did like a AP English class, and we did our own interpretations of Othello, and we made videos, and me and Damon made a video where we used JPEGs of like celebrities, and then we did awful voices as the celebrities, and like everybody else was doing all of their videos were like people like standing in like someone's garage being like Othello blah blah blah, and you can barely hear them. So we took the opposite approach. None of us were on camera. We just did the voice acting, and we just used like JPEGs of characters, and our teacher was just cracking up the entire time because we were just doing like the dumbest voices possible. But yeah, that just reminded me of that. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're in this realm of creation, you sort of have that like those early like I guess sprinkles of like creativity, where you start, I made a thing with a video camera, which yeah, again, I don't know how the hell you would get the video off of one of those old cassette cameras onto it. I guess you'd like convert it or something. I don't know how to even do that. But it's always nice to hear like how certain people got there, like to that point. And of course, Classic Game Room. We're not going to talk about Classic Game Room because I think you and I have done that enough on the internet for right now, and we also have a show that we're trying to do. But no, that's very interesting. I don't think you've ever actually told me that before.
It's Turbo Zone exclusive.
Yeah. Question 2. This is where we get to the new questions here. Question 2 is, how do you think you've grown as a creator since you started? So I guess since that Brain Age 2 review. How do you feel you've grown as a creator?
You know, I actually forgot this, but before that, I was watching Pokemon streamers on Twitch, and I recorded a couple of my battles. So I actually published those before I posted the Brain Age 2 video. It was like my competitive X and Y battles. And it's funny because I haven't really changed much, and I'm playing Arceus, and I'm trying to build like a strategic team. So I don't know, a little footnote there. How have I grown since Brain Age 2? That video is entirely scripted. I had written it on a Google Doc. And I think what I've changed now is the amount of things I've done with a script, I couldn't even tell you. Probably like 5? I don't know. I just dropped the script after like video 3, maybe. I have done, you know what, the narrative analyses were done with the script, but that was short lived. My growth or trajectory on YouTube has been largely experimental when I reflect on it. I think when I think Majora T, I don't really attribute any one game or series to it. Not like you might expect, like you know I like Dragon Quest or you know I like SMT, but my channel's not dedicated to those. It's always just like, what is the best kind of creative outlet for me at this time? So within the last year, it was spaceship shooter reviews. Within a previous year, it could have been full-on analyses of narratives in Star Fox, which, you know, whatever, but it was still a fun process. At another time, it was solely reviews. And so I think that my growth, I think what I've grown into is becoming more accepting and understanding that my channel can be whatever I want it to be. It doesn't have to be dedicated to a purpose, a sole purpose at any one time. And that's really hard to let go because YouTube always throws this algorithmic crap in your face. And you're always kind of swinging the pendulum between, I want to get my content out and I want people to engage and interact with me, and I want to be making and creating and having fun. And I think lately I've been leaning more this way than this way, but it sways. And also doing episodes on the button mappers has become more, I don't know about rewarding, but I think more of like that commonplace where it's thinking about how can we expose our message. Whereas on my channel, I just feel like this is just me. This is just what I want to do at this moment.
Yeah, I've always appreciated that about your content too. I mean, I remember, oh well, just the other day you did an anime review on Rooster Fighter, right? Rooster Puncher, Turkey Puncher. I don't know, but like I always remember like the early days of like watching your content or like us just communicating and stuff, and you would do stuff like the I always bring it up, but the beers. I always love when you did the beer reviews and stuff, like the 12 beers of Christmas and stuff. Um, yeah, I always appreciated that they you know, you were willing to just kind of express yourself and not always needing to I guess to appease the YouTube algorithm. The algorithm gods. Um and that kind of leads into this next question here, which is what ideas do you try to bring to your content?
When I do a video on my channel, I want the viewer to hear me. So I take my time with recording and with talking because I feel like especially in the past 10 years and 20 even if you go outside of YouTube and you go into like cartoons, the style of the entertainment has changed drastically to be so rapid fire and in your face, whether it's the 2-second cuts or the just hyper gibberish or like these like super fast animated coked up chickens. I had to throw a CGR pun in there. But coked up, meaning like these YouTubers are like, yeah, and then the graphics were great, but then you go to the corner and then the frame rate drops, and I was just like, ah! And I'm like, that is not me. that is not who I am. And it's going to give me a heart attack listening to that kind of crap. I don't care that it sells. When you come to my channel, I just want you to feel a little more chill, a little more calm. You know, and I know Derek has called me the chillest of the chill. I think that's a great catchphrase, and, you know, I've run with it for a while. But I just like to keep things chill. I don't want to stress you out. I don't want to overwhelm you with my opinions. I don't want to force you to feel anything about a certain game. You know, it's just about sharing the experience. And if you don't like it, that's great. I'm not going to impose my viewpoint. I ask that you don't do it either, you know?
Yeah, and I've always enjoyed the fact that you try to make content that is, thoughtful and meaningful in some way, and that's something that, collaborating with you, be it just on random videos or on the button mappers, is something that I've always appreciated. Is that's an aspect that I've always noticed you bring to the table as well. Sort of like it's like, why are we doing this? What's the purpose? Instead of just, again, I guess back to what you were saying, just making just random nonsense and rambling on about whatever it may be.
Yeah, I know you guys were talking about that. You and Spencer on the interview last time was like, I'm a bit more rooted in like my principles with like the reason that we're doing a video. I agree with that mostly. And I do think there were phases where I was like trying to make the most useful content and also not just have filler episodes. I think that was why I was like so strict about it at some points. Because I didn't like, we could do a discourse, but I don't want it to be like a just like, what's the point discourse, you know? So it's hard because I do like being creative and having some of those more creative spurts. The the frickin' Mario and Sonic at the Olympics discourse was random as fuck, you know? And I kind of loved it, you know? It's sad you couldn't be there. It's the style we can run with going forward. But I am open to being more fun, you know?
Oh, I guess what I'm trying to get at is that you still find ways to be creative while also creating things that are thoughtful
Okay.
and meaningful. Like, I'm not saying that's, like, I don't know if I don't want you to take it the wrong way in the last interview. I wasn't saying that's a bad thing. I guess I was just saying that in terms of me and Spencer, like, there's no point to watching some dumb commercials. I guess that was my point there. but I'm not trying to say that's a bad thing. You can also be creative and fun while still being in that atmosphere.
I mean, there's no point to mapping out Banjo Pilot either.
That's true. There is no point in mapping out Banjo Pilot.
So, but that's an amazing episode, you know? So,
but all right. So I guess we'll move on to the four. Four is more of a fun question.
okay.
Is what's your favorite aspect of being a content creator? I hate that word, content creator. But
Do you
what
want
do
to
we
make a new
call
one?
ourselves?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, what do we call ourselves?
Internet voyeurs.
Inner boys. Internet boys.
Inner boys.
Inner boys.
I don't know if I want to be an inner boy. Just want to be a boy. Want to be a man.
So what's your favorite aspect of being an inner boy? Being a content creator.
Internet boy. What is my favorite aspect? I just want to list some out, like, and then kind of pick so I can kind of get my brain working. Being a content creator means more than just any one thing. It's so many things. Because it's branding, it's creating, it's revising, it's engaging. I think of those like four kind of like areas. I just cycle because there are times where I really get into editing a video And there are times where I just boot up the comments and I respond to everybody. And there's times where I completely neglect my comments. And there's times where I don't want to edit. And there's times where I want to record, and there's times where I don't. So it's very hard for me to single out any one thing. It's just that it changes at the time. So the times where I like to record are where I feel like I have so much to say, or like I have so many things that I've digested. Like just recently, I haven't been making reviews on them, but I finished Sonic 3D Blast, Dragon Quest 6, Mega Man 1, and then the Rooster Fighter thing, of course. And then I feel like there's something else. I've been working on a couple other games as well. I shouldn't use work, but I've been playing through other games. You know, the Pokemon Arceus, and then Pushmo on 3DS. And it's like, if I wanted to, I could just sit down, turn on the mic, and record all 6 of those as reviews. Maybe not the ones I haven't finished, but that's when I feel like I want to record. When I'm behind and I haven't played a game to completion in a while, but I haven't had a video upload, I can't in good faith sit in front of a camera and just record a review. It doesn't make sense to me. So I struggle with like, I think my struggle is that this particular niche that you and I are in is demanding. It's demanding in terms of how much you play, the types of games you play, the content you create, and more. And it's not like I just want to create some type of content to fill in the gap in the meantime. No, I genuinely enjoy doing the reviews and the thoughtful kind of video about a game. I think the game of the day works well for you. I don't think it works for me. You know, that style. I think you've kind of picked that for yourself. It works for you. I think that I like my favorite aspect of this is really just being in control of my own controllables on my channel and just picking when to do what.
Have you ever had? I'm sorry, I was just thinking about like the you're talking about like recording dialogue and stuff for a video. Have you ever? Because I've done this many times where I've like I've captured game footage for a game, and I've been so excited, and I've been like, okay, on Sunday I'm going to record my dialogue, and then I sit down to record my dialogue for a game, and I'm like, what? What do I say? That's like the worst when your brain's just like. You're just like, what? Yeah, because much like you, I don't use scripts or anything, and so whenever I go into a game review, it's literally just the thoughts that I've trapped in my head for the last week. You know, so
it's hard because you know there's standards on YouTube as far as these reviews go. You know, you've got people picking apart every single piece of a game and they know the entire encyclopedia about who programmed the frickin' sound at the bonus stage. And I don't care I mean, I like analysis, but I'm not your guy. Like, I'm not the guy to do that. I'm the guy to just dick around while, you know, talking about Sonic 3D Blast. You know, or Klonoa. You know, I could just pick whatever I want and just kind of poke fun in it. I just recorded the Dragon Quest 6 thing and I'm joking about having a son that's a slime in the video game. You know? And it's just like I think I just like there's like an inner like younger T that like that I kind of encapsulate when I like come on camera. I feel like it's just me and y'all, nothing's stopping me from being me. And so I kind of like not having the restrictions. And
well, hold on to that.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I got it.
I was gonna say hold on to that younger T because that is gonna come back in a later question.
Ooh, Young T. What an awful rapper name.
Young T. No, not Young T, younger T.
Even worse.
Youngest T.
That might top the cake.
All right, you ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Question 5. This one you can come at it from different angles. So just tackle it however you want. But I want to know, what is the biggest challenge you've faced since starting?
when I started my career, I was so nervous that I just couldn't make videos on YouTube anymore. It was like 2016. I was like, the kids are going to find me, da 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 da. I don't want them to show my videos in class. What if? My mind went to the worst possible outcomes. And it coincided with Boss and Burf nominating me for YouTuber of the Month on this is like some gamer tradition or something. They do this every month. And it was just like I was going through a mental crisis because like I loved the content creation so much, but I've never had a career up to that point in my life that was going to help me just get my life in check. And there had always been a burden over my shoulders about my student loans and paying them back. And so I had always thought about like, how the hell am I going to deal with this thing? And I really had to sacrifice my hobby to just fix myself. And it hurt because it was coming at a time where I was being embraced by an online gaming community and being recognized for the videos I was creating. And I had to just sit there and put a fucking amiibo in front of my camera. And it was also just a hard job. It was so hard teaching in the beginning. The grind. Every aspect of it was hard. It was, I was teaching in New York City. I'm not from the city. I was commuting to the city, back. The school I worked at, that's good. It was just challenges, in all these factors. And I didn't even know if I would make it, the career, but I had to just keep doing it. And I had to keep putting this this thing that wouldn't leave me, the YouTube thing that I loved. And I just had to be like, I'm not allowed. I can't, like, this is forbidden fruit. That fruit right here. I was going to eat a grape, but it would interfere with what I'm saying. One day I plucked the forbidden fruit. It was like 2018 or so, 2 years in. I'm just like, you know what? I'm still struggling here. I'm just going to say, fuck it. I'm just going to make videos again. And it wound up being okay. And, I've still been doing it. I don't even care. I curse in these videos. I'm not teaching babies, And even if I was, our babies going on YouTube, like, I know family members and people that curse in front of their 5-year-olds. So what should I care? And so I just stopped. I just let go. I let go of a lot of the pain. And then the next year, the 2019 to 2020 year, there's also a pandemic year, ended up being one of my best years teaching. It was the year that I was finally able to let go of all the other stuff and just be me. And just, because this YouTube is not bad. Making videos is not bad inherently. It's not an ethically bad thing. Yeah, you can be clipped out of context, but like, I can't live in fear. I'll cross that bridge when I have to cross it, but I can't let it control me. So that's when things got better.
Yeah, that's the scary part about doing content online. I agree with that too. Is I don't think I've ever had it hold me back, but I've always had that like thought of like, what if somebody goes on the button mappers and clips one of the many stupid things I said, and like that's I think that's more reflective of just the internet as a whole now. Is that it is easy to kind of be taken out of context, or we're just doing this to have fun, but. It is easy for somebody to kind of like weaponize that against you. So I do understand that like that fear going into it is definitely there. But yeah, it's just something that it comes with I don't want to say job because this isn't our job. It comes with the territory. I hate the word job, but comes with the job. It's like I hate people say that shit. Like YouTube, I'm like, dude, you're sitting in your underwear talking about fucking talking about the Switch. It's all part of the job.
I'm eating a strawberry.
Okay, this is where young T's coming back. If you could give yourself, if you can give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be? It doesn't have to be about YouTube. It can be about YouTube if you want it to be, but just in general, if you can go back in time and give young T a piece of advice, one piece of advice.
Real dads do diapers.
It's a piece of advice.
It's hard because, like, do I want to parent myself? I wouldn't be who I was if I didn't know these things. I think a hard thing for me was like, this will be more personal, I guess. And I guess it ties into the cyberbullying stuff. Don't let people tell you what you are. You know, you can't, because if you let that slide, people will dominate you your whole life. And even if the consequence is like getting your ass kicked or getting spam botted or whatever, just don't let it happen. You know, I want to give like more personal anecdotes. I just don't want to I don't want to overdo it. But I don't think you should be afraid, even if you're like in a minority, to speak up, to speak your truth. Because if people aren't going to accept it, then screw them. You don't have to be with them. You don't have to force people to like you. You don't have to conform to their standards either, because it's just going to hold you back longer. And unfortunately, it's one of those things where I could say to myself, but I wouldn't understand it until I experience it myself. So really, experience is the best teacher. But I think, like, if I was to put it in like a quote, you know, it would be, don't let people tell you who you are.
Yeah, you can't be a people pleaser.
But also, you know, I think what pleases people is shitting on you. You're gay or like fucking pussy or whatever. You know, like, fuck them.
I had one the other day. I had on my Herzog's Zwei game of the day. Somebody commented and said, the German pronunciation is Vi or something like that. I forgot what it was. And I just commented back and I said, good thing I'm not German, huh? Because people do that. I mean, like, why did he feel the need to say that? You know, it's like, dude, it was like a 60-second video about me talking about a Genesis game. Like, your input isn't going to change anything. The videos already exists. I'm not gonna like take it down and redo it for you. You know? So why even say anything? And the reason is because people just like doing that. You know.
Yeah. Internet warriors. Well, you know what it is. They used to people used to get away with like that shit in person. But now that you can't, they're taken to the internet streets, the cyber streets, and they get a kick out of like telling you, like, actually, it's Herzog, not hers. OG. Thank you.
So this is the last question, and we could talk a little bit after that if you want to. And this is the same thing I asked Spencer, and I'm gonna keep this one for everybody else. But I want to know, what is a fun fact about yourself that your audience may not know? Fun fact.
What did Spencer say?
I don't remember. I should have rewatched his interview. I don't remember. Something about a twin, or no, and then I think he took it back and said something else, but I don't remember right now.
I feel like they know everything. Favorites? I don't know. I was on a swim team. I was a competitive swimmer. My best strokes were freestyle and butterfly. And also, my fastest mile time is 5 minutes and 25 seconds.
What's a freestyle? I don't know anything about swimming.
That one.
Okay. What is butterfly?
This is the most tiring stroke. You gotta bring your whole body out of the water.
Is that backwards? Is that where you're going backwards?
No, it's backstroke.
No. Backstroke's backwards, okay.
I don't swim anymore, though, because at all these public pools, They got lap swim all day. There's all old people, and even in the lane that says fast lane, one old person has to be in there going slow as fuck, and I suddenly gotta like swim around him every time going up the lane. So I've given up swimming, and also the chlorine has done permanent damage to my scalp. So,
Ooh.
yeah. But
Watch out,
I don't know. Swimming also, like, it's a good conditioning sport, but it's not good for getting fit. So I don't know, if you're trying to do something aerobic, that's fine. Also, like, the lung damage, like, I mean, my lungs are strong or whatever, but like, it's not healthy being in an enclosed space with like all that like massive pumps of chlorine 5-6 days a week. But yeah, I miss it. When I was in Hawaii, I used to like go in the ocean. Anytime I go in the ocean with like family members or like, you know, on vacation or whatever, everyone's like, no, don't go out. The tide's too strong. You know, you got to be careful. And like, I'm like, have you seen me swim? Like, it's funny. Like, when you have a language for something like that other people don't, like, I can understand if a wave is too strong, or I can kind of, I know you can't always see the rip current, but it's pretty obvious when like an ocean is quaint, you know? And so I don't know. It's funny always hearing that. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll be careful.
Dude, I used to like swimming as a kid, but we had a pool, and it was like every day in the summer for like I don't know how many years. It was like that's all my mom would want to do is just go out and swim. So we would go out and swim, and I think she just ruined it for me because I do not like swimming now, and I hadn't swam like I maybe didn't swim for like a good 7 years, and then like in 2015 I tried to go swimming, and I was just like, oh yeah, I can go swimming. I got in the water and I was like, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, how do I do this? Because like I just lost that like muscle memory, you know. I just didn't know how to do it anymore. So then I was like, holy shit, I can't swim anymore. Like, so, and I still don't really like swimming. Like if I go to the ocean, I don't want to get in the water or anything. Like, and I think it's I think my mom just ruined swimming for me because she just made me do it so much.
The ocean water, if you live somewhere nice, like tropical, like I was in Hawaii for 5 years. There's another fun fact. I don't know, there's something therapeutic about that water, especially for your skin. And because I have like my skin's not great, especially because of the chlorine damage, it actually like fixed my scalp a lot. And a lot of my I don't know, other conditions. So not being back in the water has been kind of tough. Especially because, like, there's nothing like a natural remedy. In Hawaii, you could just pluck aloe off the side of the street and then use it on, like, your scrapes and burns. Which I would get all the time because I was riding a skateboard with the jelly wheels. And, you know, I'd have scrapes and scratches or whatever. And, like, I swear that stuff will heal up in no time. Meanwhile, you get, like, this itch ointment stuff at the CVS, and, like, it never works. And it's like, wow. Like, just seeing the difference. Experiencing the difference. Somewhere where things are natural versus things are not. It's mind-blowing.
I have family from the Philippines. Of course, you know, by marriage, I'm not Filipino. But I love that side of my family very much, but they live in Florida, so I only get to see them every once in a while. But I remember I was down there when I was like 6 years old, and we were at the beach, and I just fucking face planted in the sand, and I got like a mouthful of sand and salt water. Yeah, sand and salt water made me super sick, and I was sick the rest of the trip. And I remember my poor aunt. She's just old Filipino woman. She can cook she's like the best cook I ever met. But she made me this this juice, this like traditional. I guess this was supposed to be like a medicine that that they would use in the Philippines with this fruit. I forgot the fruit's called, but it was like the most sour fruit. So somewhere, my mom has this like home video on one of those old cassettes of me just like in tears, just like sick. And, then of course my poor aunt's like, "Come on, Alex, just drink the juice," and I'm like, "No!" Because like it's all sour and gross, and it's just like the worst experience. So whenever I think of the beach, I just think of like eating a bunch of sand and salt water than having to drink this really sour like fruit juice that I just did not want.
Oh no.
I'd be like 6 years old and be like, yeah. But yeah, I have to, man. I wish I knew how to convert that stuff over because I do have that on like an old tape somewhere, but it was just like I don't even know, man. That's the beach for me, I guess.
Mm. I feel like I got your fun fact.
I'll have to ask my aunt what that fruit was because it was definitely a fruit that I'm not like familiar with. It's not
Sour.
something native to here, to like, Kentucky. I don't know if it grows in Florida. I don't know where she got it.
I don't know. I can't think of what it is. Star fruit, maybe? Dragon fruit?
Yes. Yeah. Let me ask my mom.
What do you think of grapes?
Text her right now. Hold on.
Can you taste grapes?
Can you taste grapes? I like grapes. Grapes are good.
When you eat a grape, does the taste stand out to you?
Yeah, but I like the green grapes
Okay.
more than like the purple grapes.
Because when, I went to dinner with, it was a double date, and one of the guys was a sommelier. Sommelier. You say sommelier, I say sommelier. Anyways, he was saying that if you like think about the fruit when you have the wine, you can get the taste. He's like, see, can't you taste the grapes? I'm like, what the hell does a grape taste like? He's like, just swish it around in your mouth and think about the taste. The best I could get was, I think blackberries.
That's a placebo effect, right?
What do you mean?
Like where you make yourself think something and then it's like the placebo effect is like if you think you're sick, if like you think you're gonna be sick or something, you're gonna get sick. So if you think you taste grapes, then you're gonna taste grapes, right?
I guess, but the bottle usually tells you. So yeah, I guess you could think about it going in. But if you get one at a restaurant or something, I don't know. What fruits do you think of when you have wine? Like berries?
I don't really drink that much. I've had wine, but I'm not really a big wine drinker.
There's a really good bottle. There's a style that I really like lately. It goes great with steak. It's a bourbon barrel aged red.
Mm.
So if you can get bourbon barrel aged red wine and eat it with a steak, that's the move.
I hadn't minded wine, but it's like every time I've had wine, it's been like because a girl that I've been with wants wine, and I'm like, sure, But me myself, I've never just been like, I could really just go for some wine. I'm a beer guy.
Yeah,
crack open a beer.
Well, the wine is more intimate anyway because it's a big bottle, and I mean, what are you gonna do? Recork it?
Yeah, exactly.
Beer's just like, hell yeah, honey, give me a beer. Like,
yeah, give me a beer.
I'm putting on football, nachos and cheese.
Man, whenever I worked at I worked for Walgreens for like half a year, and I used to have to cage up the alcohol because we can't sell on Sundays, so I would cage up the alcohol on Sunday. And I remember this while I was trying to cage it up, these wine bottles started falling, and it just fucking busted all over the floor. The place just smelled like wine for like the entire rest of the day. It's just like, oh, it's all over the floor. I was like, oh shit. And like mop it up and stuff. The mop was like red.
Clear the scenes. There's been a murder.
Well, man, thanks for coming on. I hope the people got to know you a little more. Is there anything else you would like to say or talk about before we go?
You're right. Green grapes are better.
Green grapes are better, man. The superior grape.
Grapist.
They're like more plump too.
Ooh, that sounds terrible.
Don't say grapist.
Yeah, that's the SNL, or that's the commercial, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Graped you in the mouth.
Yikes. I had to say it to be like, oh. Terrible.
Like, did you know that eating grapes is supposedly supposed to like expand your stomach?
Hmm.
So like if you're going to like a eating contest, like a hot dog eating contest, next time you're ever Teddy, next time you're ever entering a hot dog eating contest,
Okay.
because I know that's something you're interested in.
Record it.
Just eat a bunch of grapes, apparently. But I just love the idea of somebody just like eating way too many grapes and then showing up to a hot dog eating contest just full of grapes. It's just like, just like eats a hot dog and gets sick.
One guy's in the crowd
grapes.
just passing out grapes from a giant trash bag. Here, eat these.
What if that's like considered like cheating, like steroids? Like what if they like if you like they like pat you down for grapes before the eating contest, you know?
Yeah, they do a grape test.
Like yeah, they do great. They somehow track if you've been eating grapes.
If your pee is purple.
If your pee is purple, they do an X-ray. Is it a grape? No, that's not a grape. That's a. I swear that's not a grape. That's a meatball. Looks like a grape to me.
It's my actual balls. I think you're
How many,
lying.
how many hot dogs do you think you could eat in a hot dog eating contest? Like
5.
if you were to prepare. 5.
Yeah. It's a lot of bread.
I think I could do. Yeah, but it's a hot dog. It's not like that. I don't think hot dogs are that demanding of a food. I feel like I could do like 8.
If it was just wieners.
Bread might be a little too much though, but I still feel like I could probably do 8.
You do 8 buns?
Probably.
Damn. How?
I think so. I don't know. I can eat, so I think I could do 8. I think that's like pushing it though. I think like once I get to the 8th one, I'll be like.
The potato bread is better than like wheat, so I guess.
Yeah. There's no condiments though. If there's condiments, I don't know.
That would help. What do they usually let you put the condiments on?
I don't think they do on like a contest. I think it's just wiener and bun, which is like it's too dry at that point, you know.
Yeah.
You need some sauce or something on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
What's the best, quirkiest condiment you would put on a hot dog?
Quirkiest?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've had quirky. I think like my favorite is coleslaw. And
Oh, that
mustard.
sounds good.
Yeah.
I was thinking about maple syrup, but
Have you put maple syrup on a hot dog?
no, but I would try it.
If you could put anything on a hot dog, what would I put on a hot dog? Grape jelly. I like grape jelly on a sausage, so I feel like maybe it would be similar. Back to the grapes.
It is back to the. It all goes back to the grapes.
It all goes back to the grapes. Maybe they wouldn't allow the grape jelly.
That's true.
But they're not preserved, so they're not made with actual grapes.
Grape jelly
I'm
it
just
is.
hungry.
Yeah.
Now I just want a hot dog.
We'll have a cookout.
Not with grape jelly, though.
Button mapper cookout.
Well, my mom never answered me on what that fucking fruit was, so who knows?
We'll just say cantaloupe.
It wasn't a cantaloupe. I've had plenty of cantaloupe. This was sour, dude. This was way too sour. But I'll text you if she ever lets me know. But thanks for thanks for coming on Community Interviewnity. Next time, who knows who my guest will be and what questions I'll ask him. Teddy?
Thanks for having me, Alex. It was great to be part of the Community Interviewnity. And I really enjoy this series. I'm looking forward to more and getting to know other sides of a community.
Looking forward to more grape talk.
Find out what fruit was in the Philippines next time. What made
Bye.
Alex throw up?
But the sand in the salt water made me throw up.
What did the fruit do? You hate? Oh, you were like,
Fruit was supposed to
"Bleh."
help. Yeah.
Yeah,
The fruit
yeah.
was supposed to help me because I was getting sick, but it was so sour I didn't want to drink it because I was 6, and I'm not like, when you're 6, it's like no.
Okay,
So,
got it.
yeah.
Find out what made Alex go bleh.
Bye.
Bleh.